Well, everybody knows common sense that whoever fires the first shot is the bad guy. And that's always the game. You want the other guy to fire the first shot. This way you look like you're the good one. And I don't know who is the good or who is the bad. I'm not going to actually say anything because I just got an email from a friend of mine that pointed out that Cliff High, who puts out the web bots, and I don't know how he knows this, and I'm not going to post exactly what it is, but he says that on March 2nd, 2012, there is planned that, well, he calls it the Zionists and the CIA and the Mossad, whatever, are going to attack an American ship and make it look like the Iranians did it, and that's how the war with Iran will start. Now, I don't know how Cliff High knows this, but let me put it this way. Applying a little common sense, well, it wouldn't be the first time a war wasn't started under false pretenses, and there's been a lot of, and I'm not going to just blame the United States. There's a lot of stuff that goes on. There isn't one country that doesn't do this type of stuff. But I do think, looking at the map, as far as, ships pass through the Straits of Hormuz and they have to pass, I think they're extremely vulnerable, despite what, I think they're sitting ducks. But as far as the psychology behind it, I think it could be very well, that could be a plan. That could be a plan. It does make sense. I'm not saying that it is something for sure, but it does make a lot of sense that an American ship would be attacked, and maybe it's not going to be the Iranians, but it's going to be made to look like the Iranians, because I kind of that whole scenario just fits very well. But as far as how does Cliff High know this information, he knows it specifically, I can't buy into that in any respect. But my thinking is that there's going to be a conflict with Iran earlier this year, but I just don't think it's going to happen in the next few weeks. And I think oil's going to pull back because there's no demand for it. And the global demand for oil is actually down. Now, I've heard a lot of stories about oil prices from the IMF and Goldman Sachs. They always put stories out there, and various people. And what they were saying, say for instance in early 2011, was one thing. They were very bullish on oil. Goldman Sachs was predicting $120 a barrel by July, and that was all over the news. Then what happened? August it was down to 75. So, and I think these guys know. They know. That's just what I say. I don't know if I know. I don't know this for a fact, but they know. And that's why I got to use my own senses. I read things, but I could pick out facts that conflict with each other left and right. I think China is going to actually do pretty damn good because they're going to be getting their oil cheaper from Iran. They're going to get it at a steep discount. So that's going to help their economy. That's going to give them a boost. And really, you lose a little common sense. The whole reason everything's progressed in civilization for the last 100 years was cheap oil, cheap energy. So, for instance, if the United States was running on 50 cents a gallon gasoline or something like that because there was this big abundant supply found, there'd be this tremendous boost in the economy. There'd be all kinds of extra money because all that would flow down to the goods because of transportation and production of goods, not just people driving their personal vehicles and using electricity in their houses. It would affect everything. So to lower the prices of energy. So I think China, for that reason, my personal opinion is, and I heard certain people say there's not going to be a slowdown. So, but my gut reaction is there's not going to be a slowdown in China. They're going to be pretty strong. And I think this Iranian oil is going to help them out. But I think that there's going to be a conflict with Iran earlier in this year, in the springtime. That's my guess. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's going to happen in February, and it's just the winter time. Now, Cliff High stating that this is going to be March 2nd. I don't know. I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think so. I think more a little later than that. Maybe still in the springtime, but a little later than that. So I don't know where he gets his information from, but he states that an American ship is going to be attacked by the CIA, the Mossad, and Israel agents or something like that, and it's going to be made to look like it was Iranians did it to get the popular opinion against Iran. I don't know. It could be. Could be. That type of maneuver kind of would make the most sense if you were going to pull something like that. I don't know. But these are things I can't change. So what I'm looking at is I think there's going to be a pullback in oil for now. And really hasn't pulled back much. It's pulled back below 97. I think there isn't much demand there. That's why it's going to pull back. But it's going to take off like a rocket. And I know Lindsey Williams said that, but he can't tell me when it's going to happen. So I got to go on my own hunches. I think it's going to happen. It's not going to happen in the next few weeks. That's what I say. So I think there's going to be a pullback. And if I see this stuff going down near 95, I'm going to start buying back in. But just want to point out what Cliff High said. Got this email, and it says that on March 2nd, 2012, there's going to be an attack on a American ship. The Mossad is going to do it, and the CIA is going to do it. I don't know. Anyway, for people that are into that, that's what the word is. I don't, to me, I don't know. It could be. It could be. I just sure as hell wouldn't know how Cliff High would know that information. And if he knew it and he blabbed it on the internet, they'd find him in his place he lives out in the woods or whatever the hell he is, and they'd get rid of him. So I'm sure he doesn't know anything. But I do find it humorous that so many people buy into that. I mean, I think the basic premise could be very valid. I think they are itching for a fight with Iran. They want to make them do the first maneuver. And I know there's been stories about, Dick Cheney, wanting to stage attacks against the United States to get involved in other wars. We would, if Dick, my personal belief is Dick Cheney was president. We've already been at war with Iran a long time ago. So he's a mean guy. So he'd do it. He'd do it. I know it. He would. That's the way I read him, and I think I read him right. So I got to go by my gut instincts. I know the demand for oil is not there, but I think this war is going to change everything. And that's really where it screws up all the technical analysis, all the things you calculate. One big geopolitical event that changes the world, like a war, you could throw all the calculations out the window. The whole landscape just got changed. New postulates in there, new axioms. So you got to use all new formulas. Everything's changed all over again. Wars are very, very bullish for commodities. So I think that's going to be coming up this year. And I'm going to be watching everything because I think the oil prices, if they spike up, now I don't know what's going to happen, but say, Iran threatened to hit Saudi oil fields. And the Sunni and Shiite Muslims don't get along for nothing. So I mean, you're like enemies to the max. I mean, if Israel wasn't even in the Middle East, these people would be fighting each other anyway. And that's why it isn't all about Israel. It's about a lot of other stuff too. But Iran has threatened to blow up Saudi oil fields and refineries. And if they do accomplish that, say they knocked out some of their stuff, oil production is going to be put back a lot for a long period of time. It's not going to come right back on again. So, I don't know what's going to happen. And to tell you the truth, the elite don't know what's going to happen. They got curveballs coming at them too. And but I think oil prices are going to shoot up quite a bit this year. So it's I just want to get in there as low as possible. That's my game.